Yes, quite fruitful. Lots of heated debate about what was going on, who was going to be involved, what things needed to look like. All of this to decide and vote on the overall position of this chapter, which is the title of each of the pyramids inside of Allegory. And whatever the stance for this place is, it would be then taken to a different, uh, the collection of chapters, the book, and decided on as the highest level authority inside of Allegory. Heated debate, lots of talk of strategy and rabbit holing, and eventually landing on the idea that Margo would have the best understanding of what was going on from a graft perspective, and whether or not that would still be part of their strategy as fire moves around the world. Dro nat 20'd the persuasion check to ask, pretty please with sugar on top, can we please revive Margo with a $20,000 spell? And Gesimus agreed, as she, having insight that they were desperately lacking, lined up to the purposes of this place. So as we return to the room, as people are starting to walk out and take a recess for those of them that will not be involved in this process of bringing Margo back, is there anything going on at this moment before we kind of shift over to the next scene?
We walked out, right? Some walked out, some stayed. Is that right?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
I'm so glad Kiki rolled that 3. I think as people start to leave, I would imagine at least Dro and them start to walk out. I think Arok would track them as they walk out for a moment. And almost, because he's not very subtle, start to approach them and then stop for a moment. Almost as if he had something in mind, but then changed courses with it.
Can I ask a above table question about Tarak? Is he part of Allegory? Has he been here for a while, or was he a refugee?
He's been here.
He seems comfortable with like the comings and goings of this place. And since
My question is, do him and Delphine know each other?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Have you guys interacted a lot? Probably not. You're on different squads, kind of for different purposes. Your squads have different kind of tactics in mind, and like they get deployed for specific things, and they're not always the same thing. However, you both being brutes, you have
Bard.
you have crossed paths. You probably have sparred.
All right. Delphine's just gonna look at him curiously and look at the new group of newcomers.
That's about right. He doesn't even clock you. Roll a 2. I will say, because he's not hiding it, it was almost as if he wanted to say something to them, but decided maybe not the right time at the moment, based off conversation that just happened at this table. And I think he would stand around for a little bit, and then when they started talking magic, mumbo jumbo, he doesn't care. He's gonna wander off for a little bit.
What is going on? My dolly is broken.
I think Yaslin will clock Dro because she's right next to him. Are we? Do you have a moment to talk? Maybe away from this table.
Yeah. And he'll tell the rest of the group, we'll catch up.
I think she'll like drag him away somewhere that is a little out of everyone else's way, and just so you did it.
Yeah, it was honestly more than I expected. It wasn't the plan I had in mind. I still worry, though, if we're getting Margo or somebody else.
I would like to believe that the people who are going to bring her back know what they're doing.
Yeah, they seemed pretty confident in it. And I feel their way and their plan was a lot more thought out than anything I could have come up with. You mentioned your people might have had a way to bring her back. Would it be similar to the way they are here?
I wouldn't know unless I saw, and even then, I wasn't really a part of the intelligence field of my people. Medicine really wasn't my thing.
You sure about that? Because if I recall on the ship, you were there flying first aid, more first aid than I've ever done in the temple.
Well, I'll put it this way. My skills are the bare minimum passing grade. What my people can do is a lot more than what I can do on the field.
That's good to know. Kind of glance over and look for the two tabaxis. Talking about your people. You know, you eventually have to have a conversation with them.
Yeah. I might be trying to avoid.
No, really?
I mean, I left the Tawny not necessarily on my own terms. So, when my grandfather said he wanted me back, I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen.
And they're here to bring you back?
Well, they'll most likely try. And resisting them would probably be stupid.
When have we not done something stupid?
I'll put it this way: I don't think they have ill intentions, but I didn't leave on really great terms. So the welcome is probably not going to be. It's not going to be as bad as what we had in Aurora's Rest, but
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think they're gonna throw you into prison as your welcome home present.
I hope not. she she gets like a look of like thinking back and it's like, did what I did merit getting thrown in jail? She doesn't think so.
Was it that bad?
Yeah, was it that bad? I mean, I don't think what I did was necessarily that bad.
I mean, I was ran out of my town because of murder.
There might have been an accident that involved my chimera, and my grandfather suggested I take leave for a time being.
So it was for your safety then.
It was for their safety too, though. In Tawny society, those who cannot control themselves are a threat that is quickly dealt with.
Why would he have you come back then?
I don't know, truly. He has a lot of pull and weight, but I've never been able to really dissect his way of thinking.
That I understand. And Drill's gonna glance at Randar for a moment.
Old people.
Well, you know what I said. Wherever you go, I go.
I just. I'm hoping we can get this all sorted out without having to leave it to somebody else to clean up.
Yeah, I don't think we have a choice. I think we're gonna be the ones that have to deal with it.
Yeah. On the bright side, I think potentially there are some people around that table that we could ally ourselves with.
Yeah, for sure. Some question why they're even sitting at that table, but there has to be reasons that I'm unaware of.
We're just not privy to the information, but I mean, I guess we are also just some of the many people who I'm assuming are at other tables. From what it sounded like, they said this isn't the only pyramid tower thing.
Yeah, I think right now is just getting allies and people we can actually trust. But first, start with an old ally. Make sure. Yeah. You just kind of look. God, I hope she doesn't use fireballs this time.
Come on, I've seen her use them. You seem to dodge them pretty well.
I don't know if that's an insult or a compliment, but I'll take it as a thank you. He'll kind of grin. She didn't. What she did was a hero, but she didn't deserve to die there. And that kind of taught me that as much as I hate to say it, she was right, and to tell people what you're thinking before, and I didn't do that with her. She's the reason I told you what I told you in the infirmary back in Aurora's Rest. She was also eavesdropping on the conversation, even though she was horrible at hiding it.
This I think I am aware of.
Yeah. It should definitely be interesting to have her back, and I would love to see how her and the others interact. Especially the wizard.
The one from one of those 12 towers.
The one that we are traveling with right now. Cressida.
Gosh, I'm horrible with names.
Cressida.
Okay.
She
Put that in her memory somewhere.
seemed to not be a huge fan of people who are gifted with magic or whatnot. And knowing Margo, she will have a word or two about that.
I don't think she didn't seem against magic. I mean, she used it herself. You saw in the test. But she said something about borrowing it or making deals for it. I don't remember exactly.
She had mentioned those that borrow from something else, which in this case I'm guessing was what Margo did with Locke, but also those who were, I think she said, born with it instead of spending years learning it.
You know what that sounds like to me? Sounds like some jealousy.
Yeah, I agree. I think their different forms of magic will both be beneficial. I'd also just love to enjoy the show of them two having a conversation and seeing how that goes.
For sure, for sure. Do you want to... I don't know if they're allowing an audience. Do you want to see if you can get a front row seat to this ritual they're concocting?
Yeah, I want to be there when she wakes up. And I think you and Warden should as well. Her protector. I think
Miss it.
her waking up in a room full of strangers may not be the best for her, so at least some friendly faces might not be a bad thing. Joe's also kind of going to look for Randar and see if he's still in the room or if he wandered off.
As we look back, Randar is staying back a little bit. There's a few people that have stayed there, and you see he's talking to Iona, Black Moon, and Ingun and like a couple of the others, like they just look like they're continuing to discuss tactics.
Look back at
Right.
Yaslin. After this is all over, if you want, because I know that conversation is not avoidable, I'll be at your side when you talk to your people.
I appreciate it.
I'm not gonna get punched, am I?
I don't. My people aren't violent.
Stro just stares you down.
Not usually. And they don't necessarily like outsiders. They're pretty isolated in that sense. But I don't think they'll outright be hostile.
Sound like I
Also
haven't taken a
happy.
hit before.
They probably won't punch you.
Sure.
You know, and if they do, just punch them back.
He's just gonna pause on that statement. Sure. Might as well go get the rest of the group before they head off. 'Cause I'm a little concerned by who these twins are.
I'm curious.
That as well. Jero's gonna grab Yaslin's hand and start walking for the rest of the group.
She'll happily follow along.
And so we'll try to gather up at least Warden and Randar.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's any other familiar faces in here to her, right? Well, kind of, but
Randar's punched her in the face a few times. Abiadala just hung out once.
yeah. Randar
During
punched
this
all of us.
conversation, Warden would have left.
Where's Warden?
I think spend a minute or two looking around for Warden, and if Jero doesn't see him, just kind of shake his head and cautiously approach Randar in this conversation, because he knows if he interrupts Randar, Randar has punched him for that. So he patiently waits behind him until he's done.
He continues going for a few more seconds, and then you can kind of hear him. Time and place, boy. This place, this time. I'm not sure. The only thing you're subservient to me in here is rank, not position or authority. You're on equal footing here. Act like it.
Yeah, last time I tried that, I got smacked. Yasmin and I discussed asking to be there during the ritual for Margo, and I thought a few friendly faces being the first ones she see instead of a room full of strangers might not be a bad idea.
You're right. Not a bad idea at all.
And seeing there's very few familiar faces to her in this room at the moment, I think at least the three of us should be there.
Understood.
Is Victor still in this room?
Nope. Oh,
Victor.
Black Moon.
Mhm.
Sorry, I've got Arcane on the brain lately,
Oh no!
which I haven't actually seen the new season yet. I'm catching my
You
breath on that
haven't?
before we.
Oh my gosh, it's
No, Oh yeah, I
Mm,
imagine it's just
masterpiece.
as delicious and a masterpiece like like last time was. Um. Yeah, he's as you come up and Randar starts talking to you, he kind of turns away and goes back and starts talking to the shop owners from Aurora's Rest.
Victor does.
Yeah.
Randar. So how do you think he slithered into this meeting?
On paper, same as you. Capable, strong, smart, has information about what happened.
Yeah. Not surprised his ranking. Actually surprised he has one at all. He tended to let the giant brute handle all of those situations.
I imagine it has something to do with the privilege of power. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you need or want to. You have the means to make somebody else do it for you. Why not?
That's fair. Have you, talking about power, heard from any of the Drakewoods if they made it out?
Information's still messy. But news that big would probably spread quickly if they were gone. I think no news is better than, well, no news is good news at the moment, I say.
Yeah, and hoping maybe they're in one of these giant pyramids.
Might be. Might be there's someplace else. It's a little too soon to tell. It's nearly been a week since the downfall of one of the most powerful cities in the world.
Yeah.
We're unlikely to understand all the pieces anytime soon.
And have you heard from the Crescent?
Why do you think he's here? They're active.
We'll glance over at him. I figured as much.
They're pissed, from what I can tell.
At who?
Value. Everything and anything.
Bear with me.
Massive
Majority of the
amount.
time, when I hear somebody's pissed, sometimes it's at me. So, better safe than sorry. Oh, talking about being pissed. I should probably tell you before in my trial, I had a conversation with him. He kinda kidnapped me for a moment. Dro is saying this in a very hushed tone to Randar.
Which him are we talk? Oh, fuck me.
Yeah, Long story short, he tasked me with gathering more information on how these cardinals and these elements and that structure that we just all rambled on about works. And I may or may not have suggested recruiting Margo, Warden, and Yaslin. And
Take back what I said a couple of minutes ago about you being on equal footing. Can I slap you upside the head now?
Yeah, I figured that was coming.
Right.
But they weren't.
Damn it, boy.
They weren't against it.
Of course not. They're friends with you and they've put up with you for this long. Must have several screws loose, just like you do.
That's fair. They are aware. Those three, at least.
Honestly, I'm just putting on airs. The likelihood that they get into trouble because of this when you're already in it might as well bring them in with eyes wide open.
Yeah. I told them no more lies. I plan to stick to that. I've gone through most of life without telling people certain things and then regretting it later. Some white-haired woman, pain in my ass, did tell me we're not guaranteed everything, so to tell people what's on their heart. So I did. Dro looks over at Yaslin. And I'm getting a second chance as well to tell Margo that she's like a sister to me. And what it is like to have a real family. Not excluding you, but you know what I mean.
Right.
So I guess for now, the only thing on my mind is making sure we get Margo back. So after, if you want to smack me more, feel free. It's not like I have a choice, considering... And looks at Randar's arm. How the hell did you get your ranking that you have?
Been on the other side of my pawn enough times.
Look at
Did I clarify the question?
Look at the rest of the combatants that we fought. Who did they put you up against?
Roll a persuasion check.
That's a 9. Jesus.
Well, let's just say somebody didn't always live in the temple. And that same somebody may have had to teach Gesimus a thing or two when he was a wee lad.
Tro just looks over at Gesimus. Okay. Yup, that adds up. Anyways, it doesn't shock me. So, why don't we get going so we don't miss this trip to this ritual to meet these twins?
I love watching all your faces squirm every time I roll dice.
So many dice.
I'm so
It's
stressed right
terrifying.
now. It's
It's like literally
unbelievable.
terrifying every single time I see dice roll across the board. I'm like,
Just hearing it
Oh,
while
you guys can
talking.
see those?
We just see
No,
question
well,
marks.
they're just
see,
question
like
marks.
the numbers. It's just a bunch of question marks, but we can like see the dice go across the screen and like nothing else. So
It's
we're like,
stressful.
it's the equivalent of like the DM screen where like you can hear the dice rolling.
You hear the dice.
I don't know what they're for.
Yep.
It's like,
Maybe they built that in as a feature to make sure the squirm
players
factor was still
anxiety.
available.
freak us out a little bit.
All right. Anything else? Warden, what are you up to? Or Protector? So I think
Messages
everybody except for
that have already
Thyrock
been
and
sent.
Warden are going to the ritual, right?
See previous messages. Other than that, like I don't need a success or failure or anything like that. That's just where he's gonna be.
Okay. So the conversation kind of winds down, and eventually Randar like pats Gatsumis on the back and says, "All right, where's those twins of yours? Let's go. See if you can't bring our Deering back." Right. Well, right. Ingun, any chance you want to come along? I'd rather eat my bowstring. Thought you'd say that. What if I give you a raise? I'd lather it in butter first.
You're charming.
I gotta meet these twins.
Right. Then, sure, shall we? And Gesimus kind of takes you guys on. It's a bit of a long one, so you guys are up probably in the top 85th percentile height-wise of the tower, or of the pyramid. And he takes you down, 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 down. You eventually see like in this elevator, you eventually see like the ground level like slink past your view. And you guys are going deep underground. And Gizmus basically says, so as we approach this, I expect they will need as much information as you can provide them about what is happening. They are very talented, and they are very odd. But I will introduce you, and then I will quickly run away. Because of all the people in my employ, they are possibly my least favorite.
Why?
Oh, look, we're here! And he walks out.
Dro just kind of looks over at Yaslin and Randar and just follows.
as the doors open, you get a blast of this kind of air that like filters into the elevator shaft. And it's weird. It's cold and it's warm and it's kind of like moisture heavy and dry at the same time. If you've ever like put a cup of like filled a cup with like half warm water and then put cold water in and then drink it immediately before it had time to settle, you can tell the differences in like which little pocket of water has different temperatures, right? It's like that. Different portions of the air have different textures, feelings, smells, temperatures, and it's like all over the place. It's very disorienting. And as you look out, you see heavily intricately carved stone tiles for a very long hallway, maybe 200-300 meters long. But I say hallway, it's more like a path leading up to almost like a triple throne with wide walls, and there are kind of golden cylinders with things floating inside them, bubbles coming up and down, capped in like almost wrought iron, but again carved in different patterns. The whole thing has a very gothic meets like fantasy laboratory feel to it, but you can also tell that there is tech inside of everything. And as you go, you start to feel like a little fluff fall on your face, and you look at it. And you can see it in the air. There's little whites and golds and black specks kind of floating around. Haru, Lunith, Rasida. Anybody who's proficient in Arcana, give me an Arcana check. Okay.
18.
25.
10.
Okay. For 18 and 25, each one of these like little puffs, these little flakes, it has like a small magic school attunement. Like one of them is like black and like drops on your face, and you kind of like wipe it off. Cressida, and it's like almost like a black ash, and it disappears, and it's like a necromancy vibe to it. You don't feel any pain. It's just like it's like necromantic dust, completely inert, but it just has that flavor to it. And the white ones, there's a little bit of abjuration. The kind of golden ones, there's a little bit of evocation to it. Haru, you can sense these same things, but Cressida, with that have a roll, you can kind of sense that there's almost like invisible tethers running across, like transferring these different flavors of arcane energy all throughout the room.
She pulls out her journal and starts taking notes. Extensive notes.
Sounds good.
What is this place?
Right. Here we go. Diamond! Where are you? And he just calls out to all these like bubbling contraptions throughout all of this. Diamond! Diamond, I know you can hear me, but I pay for all of this. You should at least respect when I ask for your name so you could respond somehow. We're not interested right now. And what if I tell you there's an interesting project for you to work on? Ooh. Tell me more. No! Come out and talk to me!
I love them so much.
Such a stiff. And you guys can't really it just sounds mostly like it's coming from like anywhere in the room. Like maybe it's like echoing, maybe it's like some voice transference, or don't know. Look, I need your help with something, and it's something I think is specifically suited to you. It's of great importance, yada yada, you don't care. I'll get you that new tool you were asking me for. Ooh, now you're talking about the right thing. And you start to hear the very, very soft padding of feet, bare feet, just from two different directions. And out from behind some of the cylinders, you see two different people come out, walking in perfect sync, their steps falling exactly at the same time.
I love them.
Not gonna lie,
Delphine
Dolly,
shivers and looks at Yaslin and says, I hate them.
Oh my. You know.
Not gonna lie, Dolly did a really, really good job on these guys.
They're so good.
Yeah. And like these ones, I absolutely have to like turn these into PCs and like someday maybe get these commissioned as like part of a tarot card deck. I would love to see like a tarot card deck of like all the characters that we have, like all the main PCs and the NPCs and stuff. Margo would definitely be the hanged man.
Oh, poor Margo. Oh,
Yeah, she
she's a
would.
big oof.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're waiting. Right. So, everybody, this is Diamond. Diamond, this is everybody. Just that one. And he points to his right, the dark-skinned one. Dia, Mund, Diamond.
Huh?
They're... There's something. So, send the request up the chain. I'll get it later. I'll get you the tool. I'm leaving now. You creep me out. Talk to them. Bye.
Wait, what?
Joe's just like,
And he's
Wait.
straight.
Delphine just whispers chicken shit as he leaves.
Yep, and Mons just kind of like does one of these waves, and Dia is doing one of these waves.
I can see why you don't like them.
Yeah, they're creepy as fuck.
So, are you going to spit it out or not? What's the project?
Yaslin looks at Dro.
Dro is
Everyone looks at Dro.
just, Dro is like
Everyone looks
looking
at
at them,
Dro.
and where he just took off and just like, son of a bitch.
For every minute of my time that you waste, I will increase my fee.
He's paying that fee, right?
Yeah.
No, he's buying me a tool.
Oh, now they're on both sides of the room. Okay.
And
Are they talking
You
in
all-
unison?
no,
Okay.
they're complete. They're leapfrogging through the sentence.
No,
Yeah.
Jesus. Dro's
And
100%
it's
like
it's
looking back and forth.
yeah, it's coming like a couple of words. One word is like going back and forth, like
Oh.
Okay. Long story short, we were told that you two had the ability, and was just still looking between the two, just creep the fuck out, to bring somebody back that is passed.
and simultaneously they both look away from you guys and just like start looking back at the nearby tubes and start doing things. A revival. Boring.
Okay.
I thought you said this would be fun.
His definition of fun and yours seem very much different, but it is.
He knows better not than to test than to tempt me with something that is not real.
So, are you guys capable of doing such a thing?
There is no body. Their friend was lost during combat, and there is no body remaining.
Okay.
And it sounds like there were other spirits entwined with hers.
A couple.
Both of them, their necks snap back immediately.
Trill takes a step back just out of instinct.
There we go. Now we have a level of complication worth our time. Tell us more.
Her name is Margo. She's a Kalish star.
Irrelevant.
She's a Kalish star.
Different passing on, different sleeping patterns. Another layer. Fascinating.
And she was connected to a couple different people. One being her brother. And
Familial ties.
Dro just kind of
Less
shakenly puts his hand out, and minor illusions lock. And this.
As you do, like they're still like looking at the group, and Mon's right eye and Daya's left eye only.
Well, this man creeps me out. I don't I don't like this.
Ooh.
Explain quickly.
She
We've
made it.
already been here for 3 minutes and 17 seconds.
She made a deal with this individual, and we would prefer him not to come back. But if possible, keep the connection to her brother.
Both of them at the same time. All right, now I'm interested. This sounds like quite the yarn ball of a revival.
So you're saying it's possible? You can bring just Margo back?
I'm certain that it'll be fun.
Their definition of fun and mine is very different.
Could we get that?
Agreed. Yours is likely very dull.
He just kind of looks at the group. What's the warnings for this?
Warnings? What warnings?
Everybody in that room said and seemed like this was feasible and everything was going to go fine. What's the chances that it doesn't? What could happen? What comes of Margo if it doesn't go right?
Irrelevant.
No. And Dro, for one, the moment he's shaking, he stops. Not irrelevant.
Nothing ever goes as predicted. That's part of the chance.
That's fair.
It is an irrelevant question because there will always be something unforeseen. Something will go wrong.
That's reassuring.
We could lie, if you'd prefer that, but we're pretty bad at lying. What's the point?
Bad at social skills, too.
True. Nobody else seems to understand the way to be.
Okay, what do you need from us?
A name and an image.
Bo was going to minor illusion Margo the first time he met her. She has both arms, normal arms. And make sure that the tattoo that was on her arm is visible. So she said connected her to her brother. Your name is Margo. I completely forgot above table what your last name was.
Vorad.
Dora?
Vorad. Svor. S-V-O-R-A-D.
I'm gonna butcher that, so what she said.
Brad?
Svorad.
Margo, insert last name.
Pretty
here.
much, yeah. Trying to remember what Aldro has of hers. Actually, okay.
Good enough. And the payment. Cough it out.
What is the cost? What is the
Wait.
cost?
What payment?
And simultaneously, they both open their arms and gesture to all these pods that they have.
What the fuck?
Give me a perception check. Anybody who's engaging in this.
They want to hug us and put us in pods.
Yeah.
These
like, you
are
wanted
the
a
pod
hug?
people.
Apparently Cressida rolls well, because that's an
Pod people.
Another
Pod people.
25.
24.
11.
Yeah, this is checking. This makes sense. Lunith is inexperienced. Haru has magical and keen senses. Cressida has high senses. Cressida just has high understanding of things, and Yaslin's eyes are
Magically
just
inclined.
fantastic.
Yaslin's
What'd you get, Dro?
24.
24. Artifacts. Everything in here is some sort of artifact.
I didn't realize we were supposed to come with artifacts, guys. Or fancy.
Yeah, somebody who
Yeah,
ran out of
first and
here.
foremost, we were supposed to come with trinkets.
Give us something interesting to study. Meaning is best, though useless to us.
What do you mean? What? Each of us?
Lunith is going to go ahead and kind of like pull on Cressida's shoulder.
Yes?
And then she's going to lean up and whisper into your ear.
Yes?
Message.
Oh.
Fuck.
Hold on. Okay. No. Absolutely not.
She nods.
Jiro is gonna step forward. Hesitantly open the bag of holding and pull out Echo's sword. I hate the fucking dice.
Bro, are you sure?
Oh, Friday.
Margo was the only person that Echo seemed interested in. And there's something that tells me he'd want me to do this. And trust me, I would want to know a lot more. He's gonna look at the two. I don't know if this works, but I recently found out this is some magical something. Belonged to my brother. And he's gripping it tight.
And both of them reach up a hand, and you see them begin to cast like some somatic components, and it's kind of like a ripple of the fingers, and it's the pinky and ring finger on one of their hands, and then the other one continues it from the other three fingers seamlessly. It's like they move with one hand between the two of them. Heavy. Drop it on the floor.
Joe will hesitate and just stare at it. And he'll close his eyes and let go.
Giving up a part of your brother to save a sister. As soon as he finishes his words, that tile and the sword is gone, replaced by a new tile.
Joe just stares at that tile.
Hero, give me a perception check.
$18.
Pretty good. You hear from kind of behind you around like your 4 o'clock or so. You hear and you look back and you see Echo's sword kind of getting ejected into one of the containers that was empty and is now suspended in golden liquid.
think under his breath he'd just say, I hope that's what you wanted. He'll step back next to Yaslin.
Yaslin looks royally pissed.
Right this way. Time to save the dead. And the two of them again, like, turn and come to the center and start walking in perfect step down, and they are leading you to the this kind of like dais up the front. And one of them turns around and like makes a motion with his finger, and kind of like that minor illusion that you gave of Margo looks like an echo of it like pulls out from your hand and winds up in their hand and passes it off to the other one and puts it inside of like presses it up to the glass of this like central thing, and it goes kind of drains, and then the vat is filled back up, and it's got this golden liquid like everywhere else, but you see an injection from several different places, like, and it begins to be like this dark and white, this dark black and like white liquid, and the three of them mix inside like oils and waters, none of them really getting any way, and they're all staying perfectly intact with their own viscosity without blending into the others. She will have to participate in her return with something as complicated as this. They will probably need all the help they can get. Let's begin.
And then we offer some help ourselves.
They both, again, kind of like look back to you. Find a way to bring her back after we open the way. They both put their hands on the tank and begin casting. From Mond, lots of like black and negative energy begins to like pour off and filter through and touch the tank. And from Dia, the difference is like from their black skin, it's like dripping golden liquid that falls and hangs into the air and then flows around like a river onto his hand as they both begin to touch. Guidance of the soul, guidance of the mind, guidance of the flesh. All need to be brought back. And as they say that, there's a pulse, and all of these little dust particles in the room just smack against the wall and stop moving. Like they were magnetized there. And then it lets go and more begin to fall. So, the crow. Love the crow in this soundtrack. The connection is started. What do you wish to tell her?
Joe's gonna look at Yaslin.
Cressida's going to cast skill empowerment so that you have advantage on, or you have double proficiency on your persuasion checks.
Yes. Oh, I'm going for yo.
No, on Dro. I did that.
Oh, I was like, don't ask Yaslin to talk, Dro. Yaslin gives Dro look like talk, like open mind.
S-
You got this.
Joe's going to step up. And look at the twins. So am I just supposed to talk to her?
Your instructions were given. Don't make us repeat ourselves.
What does it look like now that they did their spell? Exactly.
So now that they've like touched that golden case with all those liquids inside, the corresponding liquids stop moving. And it looks like essentially like a magical triple helix that's like inside of this container.
Kind of looks back at the group and then back towards the helix. Margo? I hope you can hear this. We're okay. You need to come back.
Roll persuasion.
Double your proficiency. So you have expertise, essentially.
Hmm. 22. I think when Joe started talking, it sounded a little confused, but when he got to the point where he said, "You need to come back," the shift in his voice changed.
Oh, yeah, so look at that.
You made it so we could escape. And we're all safe. We met some people here that I think you would find interesting. And I promise
Well-
you. Go ahead.
Go, keep going.
I promised you we'd protect each other, no matter what. And I broke that promise. So, come back. Please. Can't lose another family member. Can't lose a sister.
Okay, roll persuasion.
When he says that too, he's gonna look at Yaz and reach his hand out.
He'll reach over and give it a squeeze.
Kiki has sent you a message.
That's a natural 20. So, 24. Tro will just look at the helix. You convinced me to tell Yaslin how I feel. You did that. You've saved us numerous times. You even saved my brother. You didn't even know him. So he's returning the favor with this moment. Come back.
Is like this weird helix thingy in the middle like changing at all?
And like every time Dro speaks, it's like shifting around. Imagine now the triple helix has like almost like Rubik's Cube pieces. As Dro is talking, they're shifting little pieces around, trying to make things more solid, more fitting. um,
The faces are killing me between you two.
what? Nothing's happening. Okay. Boring.
What do you
Give
want?
her a reason. These are nice to haves. She needs motivation.
Oh,
And,
I mean, okay.
and as he finishes that, I need everybody in the room to give me a strength saving throw.
Excuse?
Oh, saving throw. Okay. That's okay.
Whoa.
Saving throw as he says it, and like one of the white pieces in the helix shifts over, falls through the black, and lands inside of the gold, and then twists around and then like locks into place. There's a section of that gold that turns black as a disc with the gold underneath it, and it looks and feels like there's a puzzle piece that goes and falls right into the place that it's supposed to be. And in that moment, there's a giant blast wave from the container and the helix itself, and like the helix churns and shortens and compresses. And anybody who rolled lower than an 18, you are blasted on your butt and knocked away about 10 feet. And you take 4 points of bludgeoning damage from the fall.
Just rolled 18.
Gosh. What the heck was that?
And the two of them sit there, and they don't seem like they've moved at all, but their cloaks like billow back down to their sides. Good. It's working. Yeah. Continue.
It kind of looks at Yaslin. That would be a Margo thing to do.
Yeah, it really fucking would. Like, she doesn't know how this works. So she kind of like cups her hands with like, Margo, if you're in there, that was very rude. But also, these people kind of freak me out. The point is, Dro's not wrong. We need you. And I've been not ever the good person with words, but you always seem to know what to say to people. You always seem to know how to get into people's heads and under their skin. But most of all, you seem to know how to get into people's hearts. And we could use someone like that right now. And I don't know what it is. These people say something, you need a motive to be here. But I'm pretty sure you have some unfinished business.
Yaslin, give me a persuasion check.
Dro's gonna cast guidance on Yaslin.
Oh shit, there's no fucking way. Okay, let me roll. That is a dirty 20.
Okay. I just broke Kiki's brain a bit.
You gotta go back and watch this episode, Q, and you'd be like, what is happening just by my facial expression?
Well, I've been watching.
Okay.
Oh, those noises.
Okay, something else shifts, and like there's another pulse of energy this time. One of the white pieces kind of like breaks down into a series of like triangles and shifts over and like kind of like layers up against one of the golden slices, and it reforms. And this time it kind of it's like a dusting that doesn't quite land. Jeez. Distracted.
By what?
You tell us.
Distracted mind? What am I supposed to know? She's the mind reader.
That fact is irrelevant. Where? Where is she? Something. Stalks. And in unison, they look back. Where is she?
Did you say something stalks her?
Yes. The cylinder breaks on the glass a bit. A large, jagged crack running up the side. What is Lunith doing right now?
Sitting on her ass, still from the explosion, completely unsure of whatever the hell's going on. She barely even knows who Margo is, just that she was like a previous companion. So, I mean, even Protector, if he was here, he
gone
wouldn't
to her
know.
because they both got blown back. So I think Cressida would have gone to like sit by her as they both recover from getting blown on their asses.
Haru's definitely not sitting on her ass. She's very much standing, but further back. Now that she's like, okay, I don't really want to get blown on my butt again, so back here might be safer.
Do you know what's stalking her?
Girl, do you remember when she fell asleep?
Yeah, I was hoping it wasn't that.
I don't know if it's that, but that's the only thing I could think of.
Just towards the twins. In the dream realm that she's connected to, there was a creature in there that stalked her when she slept. We got her out, but that creature still remained. Could that...
Right, bats.
Hell, just minor illusion. The creature. Because he doesn't know what it is exactly, just what it looked like.
Okay. Rolling an Arcana check for the twins. Unknown. Describe it.
This creature that was set on getting a hold of Margo, almost connected to dreams. We had encountered it previously in a graft, but its fascination with her seemed connected to her since she was a college star. It's crazy strong, and we fled from it.
Does Haru
Incomplete information!
does Haru recognize the creature that Joe has minor illusioned?
Give me an This would specifically be an Arcana check.
Yeah.
I was also going to turn to the other group with the illusion, just kind of look at him like somebody's.
Yeah, I'll roll an Arcana check. Can Cressida roll an Arcana check on this?
Yeah,
if she
Cressida
came across it in her studies.
A
Yeah.
22.
22 from Haru.
God damn.
28 from Cressida.
Haru, you kind of recognize it. It's almost like seeing him produce an image of like a scary bedtime story.
An evil spirit.
It's a boogeyman. It's an evil spirit. It's a bump in the night. And it doesn't even match the ones that you've heard of before, but there's enough kind of incorrect aspects to it. Like something like that shouldn't be there. Like that kind of lizard snake-esque form with the sides, so many eyes, and like just a swarm of red flying around him. Corey? So you got Cressida. Similar feeling, but the boogeyman stories are real. They're based on reality rather than myth. It's just these creatures are so intangible that nobody ever really gets around to studying them because they don't exist here. They don't even exist on the ethereal plane so much. It's like they are literal, like, eaters of dreams. The only way that you can study them is through putting yourself into a sleep trance or astral projection and tossing yourself into the dream world purposefully, which is where they thrive. It's their domain. It's like putting yourself into the tiger's den to see how big its mouth is.
Mhm. Those creatures are of the dream plane. It is their domain, the glory. She's Kalashtar, right?
Yeah.
Those creatures eat dreams. That's why they thrive on the dream plane.
Incomplete information. What is happening? This should not be happening. What is different? Something doesn't fit.
A quarry should not be on the divine plane or in an eternal resting place. They should not be able to stalk there. They live and exist on the dream plane.
If Kalashtar's die, do they go somewhere else?
Give me a history check. Dro and Yaslin. This is one of those things where it's like if Margo would have mentioned that or not.
Oh, I got a nat 20. Oh my gosh. That's a 22.
Yes, Yaslin!
12 for Dro.
Margo or Yaslin, Margo mentioned it around the campfire or something at one point. Kalashtar still die like everybody else. They just don't dream. Instead, they are tethered to the dream world. It's like while everybody else is unconscious and kind of at the mercy of dreams, they have more of an ability to swim through dreams and be there. And that lines up with like you guys had to bring her out of it at one point.
I think she said something about her people being more tied to the stream world than others, having almost like a control over it of some sort. They don't really die either, I think she said. But that's where they go.
So she's in the dream realm with that creature.
The last time we fought it.
Doesn't make any sense. They should be dead. Ethereal, divine plane, moving on. That's where they should be.
They?
The two look at each other. Look back at you. Yes. They. Who? Together.
You're speaking her and her brother, right?
Undeterminable.
We get to them, like we did last time. Or some other way.
I don't
There
know.
was a last time?
Yeah, it was not the most pleasant, but
So
Cracks another direction.
unless I'm getting this wrong, you're saying if she died, she shouldn't be at the dream realm, right? But it sounds like she is. And she's being chased.
Jero, give me a history check here.
Shut the fuck up. That's a 20.
Natural?
Fuck.
yes, we're for
I'm fired
Margo.
tonight.
This
For
die is staying
Margo.
right
For
there.
Margo. The dice are for Margo.
That's
For
only
all
because
her
Margo's not
bad-
rolling.
Lord knows she doesn't roll
Yeah,
natural 20s.
For all of her bad rolls, our dice are making up.
Mhm.
Drill's gonna glance at Randar and have him come up there too. Unless he's on, well, he's probably not on his ass.
No. Took it like a champ. Dro, natural 20.
For 21.
Sorry, that I said the wrong thing. That should have been an insight roll.
Oh
Or
boy.
excuse me, not insight, investigation. Sorry, I'm like all over the place as I'm balancing like three
Same
different
thing.
conversations at the same time.
Same thing. 21.
21.
Mhm.
Margo never saw the body of her brother. You know that. She's been chasing him because he never came home. She basically got like a killed in action message from his organization. If and this is this is a freaking nat 20, and you've had a lot of conversations with Margo, so you're able to make a couple of like educated leaps here. If she was connected to him and he was stuck in the dream plane, then as she passed through the dream plane on the way to the eternal plane, but he wasn't actually dead, he could have acted like a tether to her where she wasn't able to go all the way. Like a dog running after a car that's on a leash that's staked into the ground.
Her brother's preventing her from moving. Oh, there's two things in my head. The only. And she said she was connected to her brother's soul.
And you know that that process has gone wrong once before.
She told us that?
No, you guys witnessed this. When she gained the soul well vial, it fucked her up, and that's why you guys had to go pick her out of the dream. It didn't go the way that it was supposed to.
Dang it. Why is this magic shit so complicated?
Said George was speaking out loud. The last time we went to this dream realm was because she tried to link with, and he'll pull out the dream well. She tried to link to this and it put her in a sleep. I just got completely signed out. And that's why we were in the dream realm, to pull her out. And I don't fully understand how any of this magic stuff works, but I do know she's linked to her brother. They're linked to the realm. She said she never saw her brother's body. Is it possible that she isn't back because of that link with her brother? And Dro's just kind of looking at the more magic-y people.
Discuss later. Bring her back, or we'll drop the spell.
Dro just turns and looks at the helix. Margo, I know you can hear me. Whatever is keeping you there is not real. We need you, Margo. We have stuff to still do. We have adventures to go on together. You still have your mission. You made me a promise to bring Echo back. Margo, I need you back. I think at that point, Dro starts to cry. Please come back. We can protect you. I think Dro just squeezes Yaslin's hand.
She gives him a hug. The tightest hug she can, without hurting him.
Margo, I never asked about your brother. I want to know more about him. He's just staring at this helix. Just watching it for any movement, anything that gives him a chime that Margo's listening. And he's going to pull out the notebook Margo gave him. Margo, your mother needs you. She knows we're here. I was going to look at the twins and see if there's any distinction and if they know what's going on.
They are both heavy in concentrated, like, focus. This is part of why they keep like talking in like harsh tones at you, is because they are visibly strained. Like, one of them has had like a vein in their head burst, and there's a little trickle of red running down their head, but then it begins to smear with black as like ichor runs down their cheek, and the other one, like they're holding their jaw so tightly that it actually like crunches and twitches and it dislocates and it like hangs a little bit off to the side.
They're touching this container, right?
Yeah, and the helix is going mad. Like it looks like something will fit and then it'll unravel and then it'll like twist around and then it looks like nothing is there and then it'll come back to exactly how it was at the beginning. And it is going berserk at the moment.
Margo, if your brother is still out there, we'll find him. We all will. And Joe's gonna take a step forward.
Okay, at this point, there is a massive amount of power like coming off of this thing. I need you to give me a strength. I need you to give me an athletics check to like just like pressure yourself forward, like as the wind is kind of like blowing everybody back.
Seeing that Dro is doing this, could Yaslin help him?
Yeah, you can both like walk together.
Yeah, like she obviously has the strength, so if she like uses her weight to like push him forward.
17 athletics.
Okay, yep, you're starting to move forward. It's painful. There's a shard of glass that full on shoots out of the container, a little dribble of liquid beginning to run down the side and comes by and cuts you across the face, Dro. You take 2 points of piercing damage.
Troll's just staring at this. Margo, your family needs you. We're not going anywhere. And Joe's just staring.
Dro, give me a persuasion check.
This is a dice I call Margo's die. The 24.
Also, while this conversation is going on, Haru watching these two twins as time has gone on, can she kind of gauge how long they're going to last holding this?
Yeah, give me a combined Arcana and Medicine check.
So you want me to add the two together, or?
No, just give me both rolls. So side
Okay,
by side.
so Arcana is 8. Medicine is 14.
Okay. This magic is way outside your ballpark.
Yeah.
But they look like they're breaking down. It's not going to be very much longer. Maybe like a minute or two.
Okay, I think she'll She kind of in the background, kind of walks over to the other two magic casters. They don't have a lot of time.
I don't think there's any support we can provide here. We don't know this girl. We don't know who she is or who to call to. Unless you can... I'm still tapped from the fight. I don't have many spells that can support.
Let me open up her stab sheet.
Luneth is going to get up and start stepping forward.
How far away are the twins?
Inaccurate to the map, but maybe like 30 feet ahead of you guys.
Okay. I can try to give them a bit of a boost. But this magic is well out of my ballpark. And she will cast Bless on both of the twins.
Okay. Okay. Bless on the twins. What is everybody else doing?
Luneth is stepping more towards the center of the room and approaching the portal-y thing.
Guys.
I think the whole time Tro is just basically rambling off memories that the group has had together on their adventures while holding Margot's notebook, the side that she talks to her mother outwards, and holding Yaslin's hand. And then just basically holding conversation like he's talking to Margo in remembrance of events they had. Encountering how we took on the salamander, how Seamus jumped off a skyship, how the interactions at Rippletop. She even brought up the town that we went to, and we all hated the little people. Good memories that they've had. And he brings up that he never had a drink with Margo. And that it still needs to happen. And Throw would also try to be his funny self a little bit and struggling and say we haven't even paid Warden yet.
Shit. We haven't? But is that why he's not here?
So as Luneth steps forward, you can see, the wind and whatnot pushing her hair back. You can see that her kind of ghastly, almost skeletal figure is really struggling against the force that's coming through the portal. And she is going to yell at the portal. Hey, it was Margo, right? That was the name? Well, Margo, I wanted to let you know that you failed. You tried to close the graft, and from my understanding, you successfully did it, but you didn't stop the invasion. So many people died. The entire city was destroyed. And because of people like you failing, I died. And I'm back. I don't know why, I don't know how, but judging from the way my body feels, I don't think I'll age. I don't think I'll ever grow up again. I'll see my sister turn 30, 40, and I'll probably still be 15. I watched my entire family get slaughtered because people like you failed. This entire party. So many souls were lost. Now it is up to you to come back and help us try and right that wrong. Because even though I came back for whatever fucking reason that is, or for whatever darn reason that is, nobody else is gonna have that experience. Hell, even the fact that they're trying to revive you right now, I don't know if that's fair. Compared to my mom dying, or my aunt, or everyone else that was around me that I loved. But if they think this is important, then you need to get here. You need to come back and you need to help us. And with that, her hand is going to raise, and kind of like very rigor mortis, just raise with the fingers outstretched like this. She casts a spell. Somewhere, very near the portal, a spirit of death spawns. Essentially a grim reaper. That, has got a nice big scythe, is a bone face with a black hood over it, and I don't think it really says whether or not it's standing, so I'll just say it's kind of like missing its bottom half, and it's got no legs. It's just kind of floating in place with like black cloth, all rugged and bedraggled, kind of hanging down where legs would be. And then from there, she commands the spirit to enter into the portal. He doesn't say the command out loud. It's just kind of like a indication with a singular finger. And I have told you what I am attempting to do with that spirit of death. So.
One moment. I will stay with you.
Yes, that's okay. I know it's one of these situations where it's like, dance, monkey, dance! And you got 50,000 messages to respond to.
Wait, it actually like went through this. There's a portal?
Oh, he's sending it into the chamber. It's
Yes.
got the
Okay.
helix in it.
Okay.
Yeah, I keep calling it a portal, but like, the
Yeah, I was like-
thing.
I don't think there's a portal. I didn't.
I assume that the helix thing is a portal of some sort, where like a soul would blast out, but that's just kind of why I'm calling it that.
Okay. Did it seem like this Grim Reaper thing like went like actually like passed through to some other side?
We'll see.
We'll find out, I guess.
Yeah, we'll find out when all messages have been
glued.
replied to.
Okay, cool. So, Lilith, you send out that Reaper, and it appears and it dives through, and that energy, those energies that are kind of pouring off at the twins and wrapping around them and like shoveling themselves into this container as the Reaper drives past, those energies kind of like stick onto it and glue in, and it smashes into the container. Doesn't hurt it, but you see it like kind of wispy, like vacuum suck into all of the different cracks that are here. And the liquid goes gray.
What did you do?
And the two twins kind of slump on the ground and like kind of fall down a couple of steps, and that was yes. Kiki, any final things based on what I just said?
That's a scary expression.
Can we chat one-on-one real quick?
Oh, leave.
Let's go ahead and take our break for right now, guys. We'll come back at the hour, and Kiki and I will have a quick discussion. And we will see you in a moment.
Okay.
You guys are sitting there. The twins have collapsed and they're gasping, and like they've got black ichor. Like the one with white skin has like black ichor running down his face. The other one, the dark skinned one, has like white ichor running down his face in various places as well. And the Reaper runs in and goes completely gray and is not see-through anymore, and like the glass continues to crack. And you guys, from deep within the chamber, it sounds like a sound that is like incredibly muffled by like a heap of pillows, and just begins to grow and grow and grow and grow. And you recognize it is Margo's voice, but it is a scream. It is a scream of pure anguish, like every cell in her body, mind, heart, soul, all simultaneously just being shredded. And that sound, she didn't even scream like that when she got disintegrated, but you hear that scream, and it's like the pile of pillows reaches this zenith, and they are blasted away, and the muffling is no longer present at all. The entire container shatters, and it actually shatters the two next to them as well. Glass goes flying everywhere. Randar like jumps in front of the group and like sets up one of his defensive auras and begins like parrying like as much of it away as he can, and like taking the hits for like Lunith and Cressida. And what's inside of the container essentially like scatters like dust everywhere. Each one of the existing containers, the capsules that are nearby it, there's like a blast wave, and they crack heavily in the front, and a little less so, and a little less so, and a little less so in the subsequent rows. But there is a dust layer that is brushed in, and it is absent directly behind it, leaving this kind of like Mario hilltop in the background shape of dust. And the lid falls down, falls off to the side, and the scream stops. And for a moment, it is silent. And then you begin to hear portions of it. Small mounds begin to form out of the scattered dust from the helix and the centralized container, like a bit of reverse melting ice. Mostly formless. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. They lift up. An arm shoots out of one of them. And then about a dozen more arms and tendrils, and the dust begins to fall away, revealing a light blue glow. A centralized eye, a body that looks like it is made of woven blue tendrils. One of those in the center, and on the sides you see 1, 2, 3, 4. An arm forms, and then it reshapes, and it comes down and slams into the ground, and it is the claw of some shelled beast with a muscly, mutated arm attached to it. You begin to see creatures climbing out of the dust of Margo's ritual. You guys didn't see these types in your last jaunt, but the sense of wrongness, the etherealness, the kind of shifting of different concepts that don't work together into a damned, bastardized reality They feel like quarry. And as everybody is sitting there kind of stunned, they look around. And if these things could smile, they would. As the ash falls away, they launch themselves towards the ceiling, one after another. There's a total of 4 of them, 1 of the blues and 3 of the reds. They blast up towards the ceiling, just heading straight forward. And as they reach it, they simply phase through. All of them disappearing. And the dust of Margo's ritual begins to fade and fall off their bodies back down onto the floor, giving the caps of several of these tubes that were unaffected a little bit of a dusting. And all is silent.
Luneth steps forward.
Mm-hmm.
She'll just continue walking toward the thing, towards the cracked glass and the dust settling past the unconscious diamond, and will prepare a reaction. If she sees what appears to be a humanoid body, she will cast Spare the Dying.
Your feet shuffle through the dust, leaving snow tracks in an ash storm. You get up. The largest pile of the ash is in the remaining bottom portion of the container that was the centralized item here. It's filled to a steep mountain. Much of it is like sloughing off and falling into a bit of a pointed ring around the base of this thing. You don't see anything. Nothing moves. Give me an Arcana check or perception.
Can I roll perception to see what's going on around the room after everything
Sure.
died down?
19.
19. You see no signs of life.
21.
But your Reaper you can still sense. It's not destroyed.
I will
It's
issue a
slow.
command.
Go ahead, what's the command?
Return to me.
You feel it run into something.
Oh?
Like almost as if you're behind a closed door and you're asking it to walk through it.
Luneth is going to turn around to face everyone else and say, I think it was somewhat successful, but feel like she might be still kind of in another realm. Maybe not the dream realm, but something more corporeal.
Do I see anything out of the ordinary with the 21 perception?
The cracks and the runes that are carved into each one of the tiles are filled with dust to varying degrees. In the chaos, you lost hold of what you were holding of hers previously. And it's tucked into a corner, almost like wedged underneath one of the tubes. As one of the blasts rang out, you lost your grip and it flew away and got stuck underneath.
Go and grab it.
Takes a moment to kind of find the right angle.
The twins are unconscious, or are they?
I'm gonna roll a Constitution save for them.
Can Cressida roll an Arcana check to see if she knows what's going on magically right now?
Yes. Yep, DC's high because this is nowhere near your expertise.
Mm-hmm. Oh, fuck. Okay. It's nowhere near my expertise.
That. The the twins are unconscious. Or like barely conscious.
I'll cast Spare the Dying on both of them.
Delphine's just gonna give them each 5 lay on hands.
After that, Joe's gonna look at him. What happened?
Are you talking to the twins?
Yeah.
Oh, just because they got healed doesn't mean they're conscious.
They're just completely exhausted, yeah.
Yeah, they're knocked out.
I guess he would just say it out loud then, in general, for anybody. I think he's gonna walk up. You said we can physically see that Luneth's Reaper is stuck behind something, right?
No, Lunith can sense that it's like
Trying to answer my commands. So it can still obviously hear me, which is why I'm thinking ethereal realm.
Okay.
You're just shaking her head no. Lunith will say, I have commanded the Reaper to return to me. I can feel it. It can hear me. It's trying to get back. But there's something blocking it, and that kind of leaves my specialty. Hell, I didn't even know that this was my specialty in the first place, to be able to point my fingers like that and do that. But, I mean, I was just mad.
Yeah, I get that. Emotions cause us to do some crazy things. Why don't you step back with Cressida, just in case? I mean, what happened here is a little crazy, and if anything else burst, it would be a good idea for you to be back there.
I don't think I'm afraid. I think if something else were to happen, I can probably take it.
Shro just kind of glances at Luneth, and there's a part of him that sees himself as a kid when she makes that statement. I can take it. Okay. Joe's gonna look up at that helix, close his eyes, and pull off his
hear a deep
headband.
ripple.
Wait, what?
You hear a deep ripple. And the ash on the floor, you see a wave come out from it. And as you take off your headband, the necklace in your hands jolts forward.
Does it? He's gonna hold it just for a minute and put his hand forward where it's like pulling.
I like watching Morgan type and then immediately seeing Kiki react and go, okay, there's the dice.
Ripple again, this one bigger. The ash spreading further and further out into the room. As you are looking at it, Dro, with your eye, roll me an insight check at advantage.
Math 23.
Energy has a purple tint to it, like a purple hued wind that you can see as you read the aura of the ash as it pulses out from the top of that central container. And the necklace slips out of your hands, lands on the ground, and slides forward maybe about 2 or 3 feet.
If I reach out, nothing's blocking me.
Like physically?
Yeah. Like it's not stopping my hand from going forward.
No.
Trill's gonna do, and he doesn't have an answer. He's just gonna look at Randar. Almost like a son looking to his father because he has no clue what to do.
You think there's any precedent for this in the temple, boy? Stop trying to think your way through. To feel it. Trust your instincts.
Joe's gonna put his hand out to Yaslin.
Trusting that he's gonna do something either super stupid or super brilliant. She takes it.
It keeps it keeps pulsing.
It pulses again, this time large enough to like kind of push it to the walls and like lift it up a little bit before it begins to settle back down. At this point, you guys are all covered in dust. And the necklace, once more, it slides all the way forward, kind of skittering and clacking and like moving along the different runes that are covered into the tiles, and it clinks into the bottom stair and stops. There's a necklace-sized rivet of ash the whole way back to your feet, Dro. Well, about a foot or a couple of feet ahead when it jumped out of your hands.
Look at Yaslin. Tying the headband back on. What do you think?
Well, I don't quite know what that pile of ash is doing, but I say we give it what it wants.
Joe's gonna slowly start walking, still holding Yaslin's hand.
She
And
falls by his side.
follow the trail. The necklace, when it clinked against the stairs, is it still like moving, like it's still trying to go forward, but just being blocked?
No. It only moves when there's a pulse.
So when there is a pulse, does there look like there is a center area that it's coming from?
Yeah,
And it
from
out.
that central container that kind of had that like that biggest pile of ash, it looks like it's coming directly from the top of that.
Okay, then I have two requests. The first one is Lunith will yell, I told you, you need to return to me. Open the door, open the portal, whatever, and come back. And then the second thing, this is yet another request to the DM for Rule of Cool or anything. She can cast as a cantrip Claws of Darkness, which essentially just makes like shadow claws. So the idea is every time that a pulse happens, she'll cast the Claws of Darkness and try and like get the darkened hands in there to like pull it. Naturally, it's a
You're-
cantrip, and I understand that. Cantrips are not very strong.
You're trying to time the moment when that energy is trying to come through, and you're trying to pry it open further.
Yes. Hoping that the Reaper on the other end can open it, and the Shadow Hand can help pull it open too.
Okay.
While we walk to, Dro's gonna cast Bless on him. Yaslin. I think it's the only ones in range, I would imagine.
Lunith.
Lunith would also get it. And as we walk, Dro's just gonna say, wait, Lunith said trapped in another dimension, like something's blocking, right?
Yeah, she said there's something that's not coming through.
So Dro's just gonna walk. Margo, we need you to come back. When has anything stopped you from doing what you wanted, let alone some silly door? He's slowly walking forward to the center. He's keeping an eye on that necklace.
Okay. You walk up. The necklace is still like at the stair, and you and Yaslin are on either side of it. What's the positioning here?
I mean, like, we're holding hands. So I'd
Mm-hmm.
assume it's like in between us almost, I think.
Are you guys up the stairs, at the bottom of the stairs, behind the necklace?
I think behind right now.
Yeah, we're approaching it.
Okay.
I think as we walk, and because Joe originally covered his eye, his third eye,
Mm-hmm.
but as he walked, it just he remembers that that's kind of something they have in common. Is the three of them dealt with that energy, so Joe is revealing it without caring who sees it, in hopes that Margo is somehow looking at them, she'll see that.
Okay. Being this close up, now you can see that aura. Her vial has her lavender and green aura still inside of it.
Okay.
So both the auras in the center and in that necklace.
You don't see any other auras at the moment. You haven't looked at this thing with your eye since she died.
Let the
You
dice
figure it.
talk. Joe's gonna bump the necklace so we can get to the center.
a little bit of like a soccer ball kick. Put your foot underneath it and flip. And as it raises up in the air and is kind of arcing over, another pulse breaks out. This one is loud, like the cracking of thunder at point blank range.
Oh,
And the arc jolts. And at the same time, Lunith, you cast your cantrip and try to wrench it open. And as the necklace flies towards the center of that mound, a hand rises out of the mound and catches it in the air. And the familiar green energy sparks up for a moment and then fizzles out and turns to. I'll let you answer this one, Kiki. What's it look like now with everything we've talked about? The innards, the magical energy inside of your vial.
Oh,
How,
buddy. It
how does it look
looks
like?
like a kaleidoscope of color. It's not just lavender and green, it is pinks and pastels and all different kinds of colors. Almost blinding for somebody with that kind of aura detection.
And the hand jolts out. You see it kind of moving, but that's it. It doesn't get any further than that. And suddenly the ash just explodes upwards like a geyser. And Lunis Reaper pushes through Margo, looking beaten to shit and incredibly haggard in like a fireman's carry inside of the Reaper's arms as her hand is held up high, clutching her own necklace.
Joe immediately takes off running to the Reaper.
And the Reaper settles down in about the center of the room, right over here.
I think Yaslin's quick to follow.
That
Both
ash
of them
probably went.
incredibly fast.
I would say that ash probably woof.
And the Reaper just sits there and holds her.
Dro takes her from the Reaper.
Yeah, I think both Joe and Yaslin are on the same side. It's like, nah, this is our friend and we've got her back.
What do they see in Margo?
She looks like a mess. I think her eyes are distant. She has the look of somebody who has. It's like somebody who's been to war for years. She doesn't have the same confidence. She looks utterly broken.
I think Dro just glances up and makes eye contact with Randar. But I think he embraces both Margo and Yaslin.
Good. point.
You are dismissed. Thank you. I will end concentration on the spirit of death.
The Reaper nods and almost like its cloak falls off to the ground, but before it gets to it, it just disappears into black smoke.
Dro will look up at Lunith and just kind of nod, like, thank you.
Margo, your eyes eventually begin to refocus on the current setting. You're surrounded by tubes and dust and leaking golden liquid and people you don't know, people you do.
Haven't seen in a long time.
A long time.
Roll an insight on how Margot's feeling.
At advantage.
I don't think she's capable of hiding it at this moment, but yeah.
Wow. That's low for Dro. It's a 15. That was with advantage.
Her aura looks exactly the same as her necklace. A kaleidoscope. And nothing is consistent.
Does she still have her tattoo?
No.
I think
She has both her arms.
Joe's gonna clock that, seeing both arms, and then realize about the tattoo. And he'll just pause and stare where that tattoo should have been. Welcome back.
It has been so long.
Yeah. Joe's gonna look at Randar, knowing something's up. He'll kind of motion over. Because he has a lot more experience with people that have had trauma.
You're gonna look at Randar and he's gonna shake his head.
Margo.
Dro, with your insight on with your third eye and with what you know about Randar, you don't even need to roll, you just know it. He's telling you that it's your time to stop shying away from what you can do, and that you don't need nearly as much help as you think you do.
I think Dro is just choked up and doesn't know what to say, and he just pulls both of them in and doesn't let go.
I think She pushes away.
Like a Dro with your everything going on. Like a cat that's scared in an alley. She pushes away.
I think even Yasmin's a little confused about just a bit, but Margo, I don't know. We don't know where you've been. What happened? But you're here now. And what Dro said. We will protect you.
You see a tear run down Margo's face.
I actually would say no. Maybe.
Never mind, Billy.
Me. You said you'll keep her safe. I think she's not making eye contact with anybody. She's just looking down the entire time, and her movements are all stiff and quick and reactionary. And her face kind of just hardens at that. And she just says, "We have work to do. We have to deal with the quarry. We have to get to work."
From an outsider's perspective looking in at this, just based off of body language alone, does Margo seem to be in, like, this person that they call Margo seem to be in, like, a good mental state or, like, any capacity to get to work?
Oh, absolutely
Okay,
not.
so as far as, like,
In no sense of the word.
pardon my rashness, you don't look like you're going anywhere.
There's not much time. I do not need to be cuddled. We have work to do.
What work? Who's this? This we?
You, everyone. I don't know. I don't care.
The city of Aurora's Rest has burned.
Years ago.
Days.
No.
Yeah, Margo.
The quarry there. We have to deal with the quarry.
Margo, where have you been?
We've been there on the dream plane for years, fighting these fucking quarry.
Fuck.
Tro's gonna stand
They're
up and tie his
coming.
headband.
They're coming. I don't know how. They stopped eating the dreams. They started assimilating. We tried to stop them. We tried to find the source, but we weren't getting anywhere.
Lunith leaves Cressida's side and gets a little bit closer to the group in the center. And she's going to say, well, if we have more enemies to face, then we should go. I mean, we don't have too much time to rest, and those things, I don't know if that's the proper term, so sorry about that, but they're on the ground, they're knocked out, and they were already kind of inhospitable the first place, so we could just get on out of here and...
They're not the problem.
Well, no, but they're kind
There's
of
a whole
bunches.
army. We need to find the source. We need to get back there and find the source.
Haru speaks up once more. What source? What are you
I don't
talking
know.
about?
I can't. We were close. They were assimilating with the dreams. They weren't eating them anymore. They were causing this rot and corruption, and we couldn't find the source.
What do you know what they will do here?
To the end of that, I'm sorry.
Do you know what they will do here? Like, on this spot?
No. I don't know what that means. What is happening to the people who's touched by that? I don't know how long he'll live. Now that I'm here.
Who?
My brother. He was injured, but we weren't winning. So I came here to fight from the other side, but now he's alone.
There are too many fights happening.
I agree with that, actually. The reason that you've been brought back, from my understanding, I'm sorry, I've never met you. Hi, Lunith. I died, too. Just came back, like, 3 days ago, too, apparently. But...
Aw, bonding!
Trauma bonding!
Hey, we both died! This is so cool! I just went into Warden. But, we're here to fight, like, the fire people who just killed a whole bunch of people and destroyed my home, and, that's what we need you here for. The power that you bring to, like, closing grafts, and, like, you're the only person that we knew of who could do that, and that's a pretty important battle right now, because if not, everyone's gonna just burn to death.
She looks at Drow and just says, he was injured. And I made the choice to come back because I hoped we could help. Find a way to stop this, to save him. He might not survive the night I left. Because you called me back.
Drow's just staring at the ground.
You said you would help me find him. That's why I came back.
I think seeing Dro kind of unresponsive like this, Yaz will speak up. Then what can we do to help you?
I think I can reverse engineer Hasport's spell to open a graft to that point on the dream plane. we may be able to find the source, take a force in, save him if he's still there. Destroy the source. If we can find it.
Now?
He was dying. I knew if I came back, he might not make it. But if I stayed, I would have been alone very soon. He was badly injured when I left. I could not bring him with me.
Okay.
Dro's gonna chime up. You saved somebody I love, so I'm gonna return the favor. He's gonna turn to the rest of the group and direct towards the only other person that's really from what Dro knows from here.
Mhm.
I don't know if you have a way to let the others know. More help would be appreciative, but this is something that's gotta come first.
Well, we're hunters. And this sounds like a hell of a hunt. I think at this point, Margo tries to stand up, but as she does, she passes out.
Dro's immediate, ridiculous speed is going to catch her. And look at the group.
Yeah,
If-
she stands up and like essentially like you recognize she's about to ragdoll. She doesn't even get like a few inches before you've got her. And, like bring her up into like a princess carry if like as she's falls asleep.
Rome carries Margo.
Comes
You've
back
been
and
back for a total
still
of 5
Free
minutes
object
and you're already being
interaction.
carried.
It's a free object interaction, okay?
We already established it's a free object interaction.
To carry Margo is a free interaction.
Yes, it is.
I think Delphine kind of just steps forward and gives a lay on hands. It's not going to do anything, but it's going to give her a lay on hands for 5. As she looks at Joe and she says, I'm part of the Holy Squad. Barak, his squad might be in on it too. We'll see what we can do to get them on the hunt.
Yeah, something about him gives off he likes to fight and kind of looks over at Yaslin.
Hey.
I'll have to get you in the ring.
Fuck. That's
And
let me know when.
with that, you guys essentially kind of gather everybody up, including the twins, and you get some personnel from the pyramid. Get everybody to the hospital ward. Everybody starts healing up and being patched together. And you're able to communicate the new understanding, the new messaging to the higher ups. And basically, Barrick, the guy in the trench coat, is it, yeah, he's the one you're able to talk to. Oh, this throws a giant wrinkle into everything that we're trying to work on. No disrespect, just excellent. Another layer of complication. I'll go talk it out with those in charge. That also includes me. So, see you in a bit. Bye. He like, as he like walks down the hallway, you see him like, every time something new to deal with. And this is like turns the corner and he's muttering to himself.
Lunith is going to dash over to Cressida and just look up at her and say, Mark was right about one thing. I've gotten so swept up in everything that's happening and the fighting and the new powers and talking about the end of the world and all of that. I need to go see my sister. Will you come with me? Because
Of course.
I'm afraid.
Of course. I will be right with you the whole time.
Yeah, with that, the soldiers gain a new but different version of a previous party member they thought lost. Your partner who died trying to end a war should have finally gotten her peace, and instead was gifted an endless war of two. And with joy that she's back, but sorrow at the same time, you begin to gather yourselves and prepare for the next leg of what is necessary for soldiers to do in the world. We will come back next week.